not to exceed 11,000.
And if we
Get a
don't
couple
get better bids,
proposals.
then we just
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Aye.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Cool.
And one more thing, that's an add-on, just to update, and I apologize for not, I've been going back and forth with the contractor. So you got the change order, it's the balance and change order to pay the last invoice. So this balance is, this is a combination of closing out this project. It's a balance and change order number 4. So, and with it is the final invoice from Collier Paving, and the total amount is $5,498.33, and that incorporates the $1,000 credit for the sod repair that we talked about along the 80-foot of sidewalk. There's a spreadsheet with it. It's got every invoice and every credit on it, and if anybody has any questions, you can call me, and I'd be happy to discuss any of this.
Mark, does it also include the credit for the front entry of Duffy's?
Yes.
Where's that?
On your spreadsheet,
I see the $1,000 one.
you've got a credit for the first invoice, number 13,552. That's the second invoice. Oh, there was a credit for the first invoice, too. 13,451 had a credit of $2,343.66. The second invoice had a credit of total $2,357.12. Your third invoice had a credit of $2,202.16.
I gotcha. I see, yeah. So you've got multiple different credits going horizontally. Are you satisfied with everything that you've asked for is in here, everything that the board's asked for?
Yes.
I motion that we approve this. Move on.
I will second it. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
That's all I have. Happy to take any other questions or concerns.
I might have something for you here shortly.
Okay. All right, I'm done.
All right, John.
Mark.
Thank you,
Okay,
Mark.
ready? All right, I'm gonna have something here for Mark, so I'll get to it pretty quick. Starting with the golf course, staff report. We're fully staffed. I'm losing 2 people, one next month, one in December, going back to Mexico. They're completely legal, but they're in fear of ICE. So I've replaced one of those people already. The driving range pad got finished. That's ready to go. So we're ready to get turf out in here and get some new mats, because Lord knows we need them. We're speed up pretty bad. But we're ready for that. You may have noticed if you've been playing, we resodded the white tees on number 4 and 18 respectively. Get those to have some our patrons to play on during season, something decent. We're getting ready to cut down some low areas that haven't been mowed in a while due to the water. Well, we were this week, and there was like areas like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all that low areas by the ponds and stuff. Hopefully we can start on that early next week now. During that range pad addition, we did some minor car path repair on 14, white tee. We straightened out some trees from the hurricane on 3 and 9, the 2 oaks along the right side. I've seen some guys out there straighten those out. They're pretty heavy towards the pond. And then also the 2 silver trumpets leaving 9 green to the right, on the right side. One's memorial for Jeff Nixon's mother. And we've had some minor pump issues. We typically do this type of year because Lee County just starts throwing a lot of power on the lines, overloading the lines, because a lot of people come down and get their homes ready, and they call it dirty power. We lost a phase monitor earlier this week, not a big deal, a small part, not too expensive. We were able to get through that. We can't afford to lose water right now. We got to sod plantings, and worst time to lose water, plus it's not raining. Obviously, last night it did. On the common grounds, this is where you'll come in. Staff report, I had to let one person go. I'm looking to fill that spot, so we're one short on there. We've installed flowers, pine straw. We're currently installing mulch, and we're doing our vertical trim. We've had our tree contractor come in and maintain our 14-foot height throughout the boulevard and trim all the palms throughout the community. The landscaping up front, we're going to be wrapping that up. That should be wrapped up by the end of this week, or early next week at the latest.
It looks really good.
Looking good. Looking really good out there.
Yep.
The irrigation audit that we're doing, I thought that was completed probably on Sunday. The actual audit, the physical part of it, he's probably putting all the information together now. I was hoping he was going to have it for me today, but he didn't. He doesn't. So I'll have that for you at the next meeting. And so I got two estimates. Let's do one that pertains to Mark. This is for now the continuation of the improvement of the community. Thinking about it, I figured Stratham would be the next best area, basically from Stratham Loop, was it east to Stratham Loop west, basically a four-way stop. From 10, the property line on 10, all the way to the four-way stop, just that side, right, on Stratham. So I only got one bid right now from Dorman, but we got to go get more. I guess that's where Mark comes in, because I got to give it to Mark, and Mark's got to go get more bids. Because for that, Dorman, they gave us two different bids. You'll see in that packet I gave you. The pricing is, the difference is basically the plants stay the same. It's the size of the plants. The smaller bid goes from 7 gallons plants, with the larger bid being 15-gallon plants. And the reason I did that is I figured along Stratham, that's a long run, a lot of backyards face that. The 7-gallon plant's going to be, if this was the ground, a 7-gallon plant's going to be this tall. Or, a 15-gallon plant's going to be about 4 foot of height. I'm sure they're going to want their privacy. And with the plants that we've chosen with cocoa plum and buttonwood, cocoa plum is not the fastest grower, so it would take a substantial amount of time, probably a year plus, for them to get the height requirement that they currently have. So that's why I was saying to Mark now, because that's more 50. Either one of those is more 50,000. So I don't know. Should I just hand this over to Mark? Let him.
Chuck, we talked about this in what Johnson Engineering should or should not be, I guess, a part of. The landscaping stuff, is that included in it, or we?
Yeah, I think that would include them.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys.
So the 15-gallon plant material's less expensive? Am I reading that right?
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. The 7-gallon is 118,000 and the 15-gallon is just under 90,000?
No, it's the opposite. Should be, it's, that's.
Is that just how it printed out?
Yeah.
Okay, because it says, all right. I do agree with you. I think if we're going to do it, we need bigger plants.
Yeah, no, that's the opposite. The pricing's wrong, and that should be flip-flopped for us.
Okay.
I'll mention it to him, have to correct him too. Yeah,
it says 15-gallon here. Install cocoa plum 15-gallon. install silver buttonwood 15 gallon. On that first page,
Yeah.
first estimate page, so I don't know what the second estimate page is.
John, this is just on the north side, correct? I mean, at some point, are you gonna do the south side as well? The pump house?
Yes, but that's a whole different animal in the sense of, there's not a lot of shrubbage there. It's all big oak trees. They got a lot of massive surface roots that need to be ground down, and then we need to bring in soil to be able to try to put sod there to get it to grow.
Okay.
That's a whole nother animal, you know? And plus, I don't want to do on that too, thinking, you know, with season and stuff, you don't want to be working both sides of the road at the same time. Try to keep it on one side of the road, you know, keep traffic, stuff like that somehow. So that's that, and then, last meeting I came to you with an estimate from Above and Beyond Painting to do that back wall, which I see somebody dropped off.
Hey, John, wait one second. Like, I think we need to do something with this, right? Like, I make a motion that we move forward with this, with a price not to exceed $120,000, and then we leave it to Mark to see if he can come back with more competitive bids.
I'll second that.
Any
Any
comments?
discussion?
Excuse me, sorry.
That's all right.
Also too, what about in the scope of design? Like, you're gonna have somebody come back with a completely different
Give him that design.
design, or, okay.
Yeah, give him that design.
We paying $1,600 for sable palms?
What's that?
We're paying $1,600 for sable palm trees?
I'd have to look at that. Yes. These are all new, and these all have to be replaced one for one for Lee County, or we'll go to the stair, whatever you want.
How tall a tree are we talking about? I mean,
It should say on there, doesn't it?
first page it doesn't.
I thought it was $425 for a sable palm.
Yeah, 14 to 18 feet staggered. Staggered.
So I'm looking at, so that's including the removal price, so $1,600 per tree to remove and replace. It's $29,000 for 18, that's $1,600 a tree. That sounds like a lot, when a sable palm is.
18 on sale,
It's also to remove ligustrum
industrial.
and to remove the sod.
Yeah.
And a whole.
Yeah, that 29,000 is not just for those 18 trees, that's for like all the shrubage that's along Stratham, all the sod. There's actually 2 Washingtonias that are growing on the lake bank on the back that are really tall, probably 60 feet.
So I think to answer your question, no, we're not, and we're gonna see if we can get a more competitive price for the same land, basically.
Do we need 18 of them?
You gotta go one for one.
We already have 18 sitting there?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotta go on.
I think that area it's pretty neglected too. I think that's it'll look really sharp.
I have no doubt it'll look good.
Yeah, cocoa palm and buttonwood will
We
make
put
it real nice.
36 palms in the clubhouse, which to me seems a little excessive.
Once again, you have to go one for one.
We didn't have 36 palms, did we?
Yeah.
We did.
Up front.
And until you look at it,
You start counting.
when you get up there and start counting, you're like, wow.
Remember palms there at all?
Yeah.
I guess it must have been pretty thick.
I didn't either until I saw them taking them out.
Yeah.
There was a
I didn't
huge
see
pile
that.
of them.
I don't fucking. They do have a motion on the,
Yeah.
so to move forward.
Second as well.
I seconded.
Yeah.
Any more discussion, Tom? Good?
No, good, good.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, yeah, sure.
There she is.
All right. Go ahead, John.
Okay, so then,
Painting.
so last meeting I also brought to your attention, I brought an estimate from Above and Beyond to paint the wall out back on Brackfield. But then we realized it was only from one side. We said we might as well do the other side.
Yeah.
Seal it. So I was asked to go get 2 more bids. I went and I called 2 more people. Apex came out. They looked at it. They said they'd give me a bid. They created a portal for us on their website. nothing ever showed up. I called them the other day, they said, oh, well, we don't have anybody to do the landscaping part of it, so we're just not gonna bid on it. So, and then the next bid that came in, the gentleman that came out was real nice, from Michael Anthony's Painting LLC, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. But to do both sides of the wall, pressure wash both sides of the wall, remove all vegetation on and around the wall in order to perform the task, apply elastomeric patching as needed to any cracks or imperfections prior to the primer, apply locks-on chalk sealer primer prior to any finish coats, and apply 2 finish coats of latex satin super paint Sherwin-Williams for $9,725.
Isn't that about what the one side of the wall was on the last bid?
No, that was 16,000.
Just for one side?
Yeah,
This is for the whole
side.
one?
Yeah.
Done deal.
Just want to say, sometimes you get what you pay for. I mean, this guy seemed to, but I don't know, is that, to me, I don't know.
Seem too cheap.
Right, does it? I mean, I'm doing the math, and I'm just like, if I was painting this wall, how much would I charge?
It's the whole length of the wall.
That'd have to be my profit.
How many square feet is that? Like, how many feet is that?
It's 1,010 to 1,010.
$1
That seems
per
pretty
foot
darn
doesn't
cheap.
seem, that seems way too cheap.
Let's make sure we get it properly when we get some other things done, because that's cheap.
And above and beyond, I called them back and told them that, because they only had the one side, they said, we're just double it.
The other?
Yeah, the first one I brought, so it'd be 30.
And that also seems way too expensive.
33,000.
There's gotta be something in the middle there.
There's gotta be a Goldilocks in here somewhere.
There's gotta be something.
Exactly. So when I'm just a little nervous about,
That makes me a little nervous
Why don't you
too.
have them do the outside part of the wall,
First,
see what kind of work it's
critique it.
and clear everything, and then pay half of it, and then have them pay the other half to finish it.
I'll do whatever you want me to do, Bob.
Guys, I think we should wait on this. There's an email that came
Yes.
in, and I think that needs to be taken care of probably first. I don't know if we want to address that.
Well, I was thinking it would be a good, but
And reading that email.
That's this one, right?
Yeah, it's right there. Reading that, whether these are invasive or not, I don't think half these trees she's talking about even on our property.
but yeah, I don't think any of this is.
They're on the other side of the
They're on the
wall,
other side of the wall.
but our property ends pretty much at that wall. There's very little easement. There's not,
It's like 5 feet.
it's like, yeah, it's very, and most of it's cleared back there. You can get back, most of the trees are, so.
So we had, I think, talked with Jeff Keys from Environmental Services about bringing us, up to compliance on a couple areas where we were not. And I know his plan is to do that in the dry months, March, April, May, I think, or no, April, May, June, I think is kind of what his timeframe was. Am I right, Chuck, in thinking that he gave us a proposal?
I don't recall seeing it.
No, okay. Can you circle back with him and, he needs to know whether we are authorizing him to do it by hand or by using the machines to go in there?
Oh.
And if he goes in with the machines, then we've got to go through, I guess,
Gonna do a restoration.
yeah. So,
To your point, not on that. That is not.
that does not affect this?
Does not affect,
Okay.
this is not preserved, this is not, it's actually considered, it's a weird thing, but on Lipa, there's a lake over there, it's considered part of the lake
That track.
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 Consider that wall, and that whole wall's in that little lake. Just put it in that lake track.
Who owns this
It was all needed. The district is owned by the district.
No, this land back here, this?
Oh, that's Lee County Utility Inspector.
No, this is Wildcat runs, it's like, yeah.
It's gotta be their maintenance.
That's their maintenance
Okay.
facility, and I think they also have like
look
an
at that.
area for people to like park their boats and stuff like that back there. See if he'll. But I think like those 5 feet right there, those trees that back up to that wall, I think that's what the issue is here.
It is.
Yeah.
And essentially, you had storm event with Irma,
Yeah.
which knocked down a bunch of stuff, and that eventually got removed, but you opened that area up for growth of anything that wanted to come in there, because nobody was really managing the area.
Yeah.
So what you ended up with was the acacia, which is on the exotic list.
Yeah, so my thought is, we need Jeff to go in and do his thing.
Anybody can
Anyone.
do it, doesn't have to be Jeff. This isn't a conservation area, so it doesn't have to be a licensed.
Right.
In that regard, a simple tree guy can come in and actually cut those and pull them out of there. They may be better equipped to do it, actually. They can come in and surgically remove them with a boom truck and whatever, so that you're not running any potential against that wall.
So we can do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Because I
not
was just
that's
worried
not
it
a
wasn't
protected
even- I was
conservation
thinking-
area.
no, I was
I hate to
thinking it
ask
wasn't
you,
our
man,
land.
but can you go back out and like get somebody to do that or get a proposal to do that?
Yeah,
Because I think it's gonna make the paint job a lot more
Well,
effective.
let me ask you this now. One thing I was telling Chuck at the beginning, I don't know if most of these trees that just are or within that 5-foot easement. There's a lot, on the backside of that wall, like, it's pretty clear, you can pre-walk most of it. There's gonna be some areas. So I don't, if they're not on
You're
our
saying
property,
they're past the 5
they're
feet.
past our 5 feet, now you have a right to protect your property, we could do the trim line, right,
That's correct, up to the property line.
up to the property line, we can do that. But that's not gonna affect what she's talking about, the leaves when they fall during, fall time on her.
Just saying, those are pretty tall trees.
Yes. But
I responded to the resident that, we would look into it.
I was gladly go back and still look at it.
But I said,
Map out what's what, I'll walk the whole thing out.
the trees aren't on our property, there's not a lot we can do about it.
Whose
Correct.
property is that then?
That's Lee County, utility.
And they're not gonna likely do anything, right?
If they did, it would take another year.
Would we even if we can do it, I'm sure we'd have to get some kind of permission from them to go onto their land to do it.
Yeah, I just quickly looked at that, I thought that was Lee County Utilities. But that's their right of way for their,
Yeah.
well
That's their
field that runs-
easement there.
Yeah, that well field that runs down through there, so to get to the.
Plus, you got the utility lines that come through
Where's the
there.
other truck again?
Up one,
That strip?
the district.
You think Wildcat owns it?
Little strip right there.
I mean, it takes
Little
us
right
in
away.
March there.
Yeah, I think
Like that.
this is probably Lee County.
That's their easement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we can, that goes back to the conservation area, it has their well field is along there as well.
You always get their permission to do that.
Oh, I don't think they would withhold that.
No, I agree.
Yeah, and I think the residents even expressed, like, he would be willing to help contribute to this, John, I'll go back there with you too, man, but like, I want to know what percentage of those trees that might be invasive can we actually remove, and what percentage, I don't know, do we need to get authorization from?
The acacia, no. Matter of fact, if the village saw that out there, they would probably hit you with a code violation to remove it.
Yeah, the acacia on the
Yeah.
district property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know that that's on our property.
And if it's
That's
on
the
Lee
whole
County's
thing.
property, you can just contact Lee County Land. Rob Clemens and those guys?
Yeah.
And they'd probably say, go ahead,
yeah, I can't.
probably a short agreement for it. So,
Can you start that
Yeah, I was
communication?
about to say, I think before, we just need to determine what we can and can't do, and what we own and what we don't. That's.
Can you just ask them, like, there's a question, which ones are on our land and which ones are on your land? Can we, do we have your authorization to remove them?
Yeah, and I don't think that that's a huge issue. John, have you got a contact over there at the water plant?
I don't.
Did you call for reuse when you need more reuse or whatever?
No, I don't.
it's good, Bob Clemens is pretty responsive.
Yeah, I was just gonna deal with one of the local guys and see if they had an issue with that. Can't imagine they had an issue with it, so. All right, we'll reach out. We'll reach out to their. I think it's probably the utilities, county utilities department, 'cause that's who's using that road more than.
All right, so Chuck, you'll
I'll follow
look
up
into
on that.
this,
Yep.
and then based on your response, we will act accordingly, and then John, maybe you could, if we get the green light, you know some, or actually, do you know tree cutters that can take care of it? Or-
Absolutely. Good.
So we won't
List
put that
them.
on your plate?
So, I'll go ahead.
I would just say wait on painting until we figure this out.
We need to get this
Do
tree
you want, in
thing
the meantime,
sorted.
do you want me to go back there and take some pictures of what I can, how much work needs to be done, what?
I'd like to go back there with you, and let's just see, you know, the acacias, how many of them are within 5 feet, how many, just ballpark, you
Yeah.
know, like, is it, because it may end up being all of them are ours, I don't know, you know, but.
Okay. All right, well, it sounds like we have a plan then. And it does look like some of these pictures that some of them are going over our area, so we could at least get those down.
Cut
Sure,
down,
because we
yeah.
can protect our, you know, you can see on this one, it's certainly coming over our land, so worst case scenario, we can do that, but hopefully we can address it. All right. John, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
All right, Kyle, you're on.
Awesome. I don't have too much to get through. I'm going to start with your revenue report for October here. Currently, we're at $241,000 in total revenue between the point of sale, prepaid rounds, and the driving range. Last October, end of month, ended at $228,000. So we're currently 6% ahead of the end of month last year. And we still have pretty much the whole week of tee times. The tee sheet's pretty full. I anticipate us ending around 15% to 20% ahead of last October. When it comes to my golf cart fleet, everything is on schedule. I want to give a special thanks to Tony and Eileen for helping me work through that. That was a very time-sensitive thing, and I really appreciate the attentiveness and getting through all that with me.
Very welcome, Council.
Our driving range, re-teeing the driving range is on schedule as well. We had worked with Dorman to lay that tee line and the extensions. Those came in great. I'm just waiting on the materials to actually be made, and they should be in by the end of the month, around the same time as the carts. So all that stuff is right on schedule. From an operational standpoint, the new point-of-sale system we've implemented at the beginning of October is going tremendously. I think I've gotten a lot of feedback from our perpetual resident golfers that are always playing. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback when it comes to the new booking engine, the website design, just the ease of use when it comes to booking the tee times and being aware of what's going on. Just a quick little note too, since we installed the point of sale, we've already added 1,300 new customers to that system. So we're going to start implementing some of our marketing strategies moving forward. A specific message to the residents in regards to resident rates and discounts and stuff. You guys are always going to be the first ones to receive those discounts. You'll always see them on the website as well. Anytime we and my professional staff notice downtimes in the tee sheet, we go right to that resident portal and we start to discount. So you guys will be the first ones to receive those discounts, especially with us going up in that morning rate this year. That's all been going very, very well. That's pretty much all I have. Before I do ask for any questions and anything, I do just want to make one suggestion to the board, especially after going through today, and there's a bunch more of these proposals and stuff. I brought this up in the past, and I still strongly recommend the board looking into getting a procurement and contract specialist that the board is employing. Between John's, $2.5 million maintenance budget and all these different contracts and everything that's going on here, I've never seen a multi-million-dollar organization not have somebody specifically on staff to do these kinds of purchasing and looking for these bids. I've seen it done where it's like, it's a base salary of like $80K, and then you incentivize based off the savings from your budget. And it's just something that I strongly suggest the board look into. We've had Troon and some of these other management companies come in, and just understand that was one of the biggest draws of them was their procurement power, and that's something you can just bring in-house. Looking at these proposals from like the paint jobs and stuff, like we've been working with above and beyond painting for years. They've done lots of our projects. That proposal to me looks like they're getting comfortable with us.
Yeah.
And we just need a buffer in between me and John to be able to do that. And I have a feeling some of my reps might be doing the same thing to me, where I'm just not getting the best deal because of a prior relationship. If you introduce a buffer to that, I can continue to maintain my relationship with my reps, and the person that's doing their job is going to do their job. Especially in John's situation, and this is just my observation. This man does a tremendous amount of work. And anytime you're asking him to go seek more proposals and stuff, it just strains him out. And he's leading on so many projects, and then asking him to go argue down proposals is difficult. I'm a little more free in that sense. I'm able to talk to my reps, and I do feel like I'm getting pretty good deals, but I do worry about his situation and the amount of money they're spending and just the lack of time to argue a price. And I just really think you can spend 80 grand and save more than that. So I strongly suggest looking into it, because it could just be a tremendous asset to you guys in the future. That does bring me to everything I got today. Do we have any questions about any revenues, any of the system changes, anything like that?
Yeah, one piece of feedback that I received last night on the point-of-sale resident engine was just some concern that the pricing isn't in there, so somebody booked and then they booked.
So I do there's a reason that's not in there, and this is something me and you've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
If I introduce that pricing, that means they can see that and they can prepay for it, and all of a sudden, residents will be able to get guests' residence rates. So I just can't have that.
Yeah, okay.
So the residents can always call, they always know what the price is, but we're happy to tell them. It doesn't change but 3 times a year, so it's just one of those small little inconveniences I have to have as protection for the revenue.
Okay.
All right. Tom, you got anything for him? No. All right, we're good. Phil just left.
One thing, I do have one thing. Lisa, the fire backflow thing, still leaking.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks. I went by there when you told me that and called them right away. All over that.
Yeah, I will say one other thing too. I really appreciate Lisa and the job she does. I've had so many issues with the building the last couple months. I'm texting her, I texted her this morning, had an AC issue. We had all the plumbing failed in the building. Duffy's was closed yesterday because of it. Thank you again, Lisa, for staying on top of that stuff. She helps me with a lot of my signage and stuff as well, so just thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, Lisa, do you have anything on Duffy's since Phil's not here?
No, they're doing pretty good. It was pretty quiet as far as the AC goes, but yeah, the plumbing issue was kind of a surprise. But they seem to be handling that, but I don't know how much they're going to handle. They're trying to assess what it is. I think it's mostly it is the women's bathroom and, things go, paper towels, tampons, that sort of thing. But the plumber is thinking that the pipe might be too low or not situated properly to drain, but I don't know.
Eileen?
Oh.
Eileen? Sorry, but Eileen?
Hit the gavel.
That's okay, I can talk over her.
Sorry. Sorry.
Anyway, I'll keep you abreast of that and see how things go, but I will make sure I'm involved because whatever they do, I said, are they going to make that repair? And I'll leave that up to them partially.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. But other than that, I think everything does look great. Opening all that up on Corkscrew made a big difference, and I think they're very visible. Should be good.
A couple of things that I noticed when I was there this morning. The exhaust fans from Duffy's,
Yes.
they're rusting. They're
Well, they're dripping, yeah.
that as well, but
Okay.
they're physically failing, and possibly not even structurally sound on 2 of them. The roof, there's areas where there's kind of like mold growing.
Yeah.
And then Duffy's is using the the kind of like area outside the electrical cabinet or the electrical closet, and also around the trash cans. I saw there was like over 10 tables that were like back there, 5 propane canisters, like,
That place is always, you know, they wanted more room, they put a little storage container.
yeah, but like
there,
contractually,
all
what
outside.
are they allowed to do?
Get them out of there, they don't need them, why are they there?
So, Tony, maybe you can just like review the contract,
Well,
like,
yeah, I'll get with you on it
I
because.
can write them, put them on notice, you
Yeah.
know, you've got 10 days to do it, or we'll do it and bill you back, we'll get rid of all of it.
Are they addressing the rules and regulations, or do we need to adopt rules and regulations to govern that, Lisa? We want to look at that also? Because we can adopt rules and regulations.
They are to an extent, I have not, I need to push them more, they don't send me when they get their exhaust fans checked, and, you know, I want to see all those reports to make sure that makeup air unit is working properly. I'm always on them to get me those reports.
How about having a three-way call with 3 of us, maybe end of this week, for about half an hour, just to say what they are not doing, if they're slacking, so that maybe we need to step it up as far as telling them need to
yeah,
step
it's
it up.
just, John, and like what we're doing to the parking lot, making everything look great is awesome. I just want to make sure that they're pulling their fair end of the bargain as well.
We're making it look good, they need to too.
Yeah.
That area in the back by the electric closet is,
Yeah, it's
If you could
ridiculous.
send an email to Adam and I with some times on Friday that you're available, we can reply back and have a call. Thanks, Lisa, appreciate it.
All right, email communications, been pretty quiet, a lot of the standard stuff. There was one I wanted to bring up, and obviously we talked about the trees, but then there was another one I sent out to everybody, and Kyle, maybe you can comment too. You know, some incident with Chase and some kids wandering away, and
It was, I believe, a Thursday evening. Chase was doing his regular chasing birdies class. It was at the time of dismissal. It was a resident of Stony Brook. She was in Duffy's. I guess it was her birthday. And the kid couldn't see her and decided to just walk home.